And good morning. We're live from the ASB Financial Studios in Fly on the Wall Productions, North Main Street, Barrie. You got JD Green and the Aired Out podcast with special guest John Sell, who's going to be with us from Laser Systems in just a little bit. I want to say, before we even get going this morning, be careful on some of those back sidewalks, walkways, parking lots. It's a little slippery out there this morning. It's 23 degrees, a little bit of black ice in some spots reported, not only last night, but also this morning. You get down in some of those hollows where that colder air is sitting, and it could get slick on you and sneak up on you quickly. So be careful if you're out on foot this morning or in the car. Roger Hill is saying it's going to be warm for the next couple of days. We got a little warming trend, 45 degrees later on today with some sun and some clouds. Looks like tonight clear and then clouds, 30s. Friday, tomorrow, mostly cloudy, some sun, but real mild, 50 degrees tomorrow. And then Saturday, looks like 40s. Clouds, maybe some light rain on Saturday as we wind down the last couple of days of 2022. And then looks like, New Year's Eve. Some rain, some fog, and 40s going down to the 30s on New Year's Eve. First day of 2023 looks pretty mild, 40 to 45 degrees. Going down into the 30s for the daytime high with clouds and rain and snow showers. This is all what Roger Hill is saying here. So mild over the next couple of days. Hey, you've heard us talk about Fecto Homes, one of our sponsors. We love them. They call themselves the Total Housing Solution, and man, are they that and so much more. We urge you to check out BeckleyHillMeadows.com, of course, which has been a very popular website for the year 2022. Understatement, I know. But one-level homes located right in the heart of central Vermont, and they're doing a great job. Single-family and duplex residential developments are just exploding. And they are just working so hard around the clock over at Fecto Homes. Check them out. Get on FectoHomes.com as well, or better yet, stop in. No appointment necessary to their location right there on Route 302. And speak with Dan or the rest of the team over there. They'd love to chat with you. If you're thinking about a new home in the coming year. 23 degrees again right now. John Sell with us. Good morning, pal. How are you, man? What's going on?
Hey, good morning. And I just so you know, I mask everywhere.
Yes.
It's what I do, so hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, no, we can hear you just fine. We know, I know that you're a masker.
That's me.
And that's great. I think that's wonderful. No matter where you go, it seems like
it is.
You got a mask on.
I do. And so we, with medical stuff in our family, my son and me.
And you.
It's for us, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, of course. So we have a lot to talk about this morning, a lot to get to. But first off, for those of you that don't know John Sell, he's the owner, operator, the big chief of Laser Systems, LLC, right here in the Granite City of Barrie, Vermont.
Actually, it's an incorporation.
It is?
It is.
Oh, it's not the LLC.
No,
it's the INC.
That's it. Yeah, it's the INC.
We appreciate all you do. Fair to say that, respectfully, you're a geek.
I am a geek, and I don't mind saying so.
Yes.
Geek is okay. Nerd, less so. See, it's all about how you. I'll actually go into a new place, or when there's a new employee at one of my clients, I'll just go in and shake their hand and say, welcome. I'm the geek.
Yes.
And it cuts through all of what they're thinking anyway.
Right.
And it's okay to be a geek.
Yes. Do you have a shirt that says "I'm a geek"?
No, I don't.
I'm proud of it.
No, but that would be a good gift.
Listen, all of us in this planet, we all have our specialty. We all have things that we are good at, we are familiar with, we are comfortable with.
And I love being a geek.
That's right. I know you do. I know. And many of us non-geeks, we love our technology. We love our phones. We rely on our phones, our computers, whether they're desktops, laptops, no matter what. But we may not be a geek. We use them and we rely on them.
You use them.
But we don't necessarily understand the in-depth inner workings of these computers.
So
and we get frustrated.
Well, us geeks, we have our own language, just like the police, just like the doctors. And all that is, I mean, in my world, I try to convert everything to English.
Yes.
But we have our own language to keep you people down here. And so that you have to rely on us.
Yes.
That's how that works.
Well, we do rely on you, and as a sponsor of the Air Dial podcast, we have relied on you numerous times to come to our rescue. Most of the time, you are able to lightning fast get into our computer here, tweak some things, fix some things remotely. What's amazing is not from your home computer, but rather your cell phone while you're on the go.
I can, yes.
That's scary.
Well, life has changed a lot for us. So 20 years ago or 25 years ago.
You had to be at home.
You actually had to be on site. At home, no. 25 years ago, at home didn't work. Then about 10 years ago, at home got easier. And now all of my remote stuff is on my phone. I can access it from any computer.
Which helps your business, because if you're in Burlington or you're in the car, you're on the interstate, whatever,
yes,
and a client needs you,
I can pull over.
They
and I
need
can
you
do
right
it.
now.
Yes, and that's usually the issue. Is
I need you now.
I need you right now. When they call, there's a problem. So logging in remotely, yes, makes a huge difference.
Amazing.
I mean, I hate I hate using my phone because everything's small. I'm old. I'm blind.
How many different pairs of readers does John Sell have?
You
got one right there.
I do. I buy them at the dollar store. I buy 5 at a time because I lose them all the time. So I think I bought 5 2 weeks ago, and I'm down to 1. It's the story of my life.
You need them.
Well, they're at all my job sites. I get calls when I leave, and they say, you left your glasses here. And I say, I didn't have them on, so I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the bottom line.
Right.
So, yeah. But I've been doing this since '84, and I love my job. Wow. And I hear so many people bitch about their jobs, and I really like my job. Yeah. So,
I think you, just from the outside looking in, I don't think you like your job. I think you love your job because this is your wheelhouse. This is what you know.
Well, I have a number of hats that I wear, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have a today 31-year-old special needs son.
Is he 31 today?
Yeah, how scary is that?
Christian Sell.
Christian Sell is 31 today.
Wow.
And I haven't even gotten to wish him a happy birthday because he was asleep when I left. So, happy birthday, Christian.
He'll go back and watch this.
He
right?
will, all yes. Right. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, 31. And he has had a life of medical issues, so we've become very well versed.
Yes.
In the world of medicine.
Yes. Yes, you have.
A former coworker of mine had said to me when I got diagnosed, I have something called Erdheim-Chester, which is a ultra rare blood cancer. So there's 360 of us, or now it's probably up to 400 in the world. And her comment to me was she believes we were given Christian so that I could basically practice, if you will, get used to and figure out the system before I was diagnosed, and so that I could handle that. And I mean, that, you know, stranger things have been said, but you know, Christian is who he is. We would never change a thing about him.
Yeah. He's one of the most loving, well known, dare I even say, famous.
Well, it's funny because
guys in all of Central
my
Vermont.
brother-in-law says he's a celebrity.
He is.
And,
he's right. Your brother-in-law's right.
Well, you know, Christian is Christian. He's a huge hockey fan, so we spend a ton of time at Norwich.
Yes. Knows all the players.
Well,
been on the ice.
14 years ago, I started doing photos for them. That's one of my hats.
Yes.
And so I do pictures for both the men and, as of 2018, the women's team as well.
Yep.
For the family. So I don't do that for Norwich, but we do it as a thank you and a give back to the team, because the teams have been amazing with him.
Wow.
And so that's just one of the things we do. Christian, you know, we wouldn't be who we are if Christian wasn't who he is.
Ooh.
And so that's something that we let our younger son, Justin, know growing up all the time, which is, you know, your brother doesn't want stuff. And that makes Christmas and birthdays really hard because he doesn't ask for anything.
Yes.
What he wants is your time. He wants you to sit with him and read a book or watch TV or play on the internet.
Right.
That's what he wants.
Can you imagine if more of us were like that in this world?
You know, I've said many, many times, the world needs a lot more Christians, and it would be a much better place.
Amen. Very true.
Wow.
And I think we've had, you and I, when I first, you've been on the air with me a few times, but I think
you had Christian on, yes.
We did.
When we were in the other studio.
When we first started the podcast.
Yep. And then you had him on. We had a concert that we had, and you had him on the air then as well.
1964, the tribute.
Yes, and we will see them in 2 weeks. We're going to see him on January 15th. Haven't seen him in 3 years or 2.5 years.
Manchester.
Which is really, really long. And so we were in contact with the band. And Christian's big thing is he loves to meet people, not because they're famous, but because he loves what he does.
Yes.
And so we're going to stay in a hotel with the band.
Oh, my God.
So he's super excited. And,
as he should be.
And then we have Foreigner's Journey coming to the Barrie Opera House.
Yes. What's the and I saw that, and it flashed across my screen, but what's the date on that? Do we know?
January 28th, Barrie Opera House.
Okay.
If you like Foreigner or if you like Journey, the cool thing about the band is because they cover both of those, they cover the top hits of both of those.
Yes.
And it's an amazing concert. We've seen them 5 times. Christian, again, has gotten to know the band.
Amazing.
and they're great guys, all of them.
Oh, I love it. Feels like the first time. Shouldn't be doing that. This is way too early for that. That's so great. He loves music. He loves concerts.
So Christian
he loves experiences.
He loves hockey and he loves music. Those are his 2 big things. So we're friends with the band Air Supply from the 80s.
Oh, God, yes.
So we've seen them.
I'm all out of love.
Yeah, that's it. So we've seen them 5 times. And
why do I know this?
because
why?
Because they play great music.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people poo-poo that and you know, it's elevator music, but it is not.
I think I remember singing I'm All Out of Love by Air Supply to my Heather Locklear poster.
Well, there you go.
Which was on my ceiling in my bedroom.
And, you know, these guys are in their 70s, but they put on a hell of a good... Of
course they do.
They put on... Their shows are great.
Of course.
Christian loves to stay in a hotel with the guys, But in addition to that, we always have to buy the $100 meet and greet tickets because that's part of it. And you know what? We've always said this too, that crap flows downhill all by its own, and we have no control over that.
True.
So all the medical stuff that happens to him, he takes and he does so with a smile. I mean, he just does it. And as parents of a special needs kid, it is not in our power to make those things right, but it is in our power to make his life joyful. And so we try. And so that's where we are.
I have met so many people in central Vermont who, in roundabout ways, your name and Wendy's name have come into the picture or into the conversation. And the one constant is they've said, oh, yeah, John selling the computers and he's a great guy, blah, blah, blah. But great parents. Those guys are the example of amazing parents. I wish there were more parents like that. And,
you know, yes, we have a ton of stuff that we deal with, but, you know, we don't feel that we're doing anything extra than we should. We're doing what we feel is right. And what's cool is I grew up all over the place. I did not grow up in central Vermont. Wendy did. But then the two of us met, and we are on the same page.
Yeah, you are.
And we have Christian on one hand with special needs, and then we have Justin on the other hand who was valedictorian.
Yeah.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
And I think I would say that we've done a good job raising our kids.
You've done a great job.
But it's not foreign to us.
Yep.
You know, for us, it's just, you know, people say, well, Christian's 31. You know, why is he still living at home? Well, he's living at home because that's his family. That's where he lives. And for us, that works. And I get that for some people, it doesn't work.
Sure.
But he's going to live with us until he can.
Sure.
And, you know.
That's amazing, John.
So that's just, and I approach everything in life, my medical situation.
Everything.
I don't get out of bed and say every day, oh, I've got cancer and I've got diabetes. Life sucks. That doesn't work for me. And so I get out of bed and just do my thing. So it is all good.
Easier said than done. For some.
Again,
for many.
Again, it may be. And because I've never been, quote unquote, depressed, I feel very fortunate about that because there are a lot of people who have issues with that.
Yes, of course. And mental health is a big thing.
It's a huge issue.
And it's something that we talk about frequently here. We try very hard to have fun with people and make them laugh and make fun of ourselves and that's inject some humor into this
I dance.
World.
I dance my Wendy and Christian tend to stay in the car when I shop.
Mm-hmm.
I go grocery shopping, and Christian anxiously awaits me coming out of the store because I'm pushing the carriage and I'm dancing. That's what I do. And I have been asked, aren't you embarrassed? And I said, no, because I really don't give a shit what you think.
Yeah.
It makes Christian happy.
So it makes you happy.
And he expects it. And so I see, I'm parked so that he can see me. And if I happen to be pulled into a space that he can't see, I will push the carriage around the front of the car so he can see me dance. And I get from a lot of people that, wow, you just made my day.
That's something, man.
But
dude, that's so great.
But, life is short and people need to do more of that stuff.
It's amazing, but it's amazing to hear you talk like this. You're such a great dude, and you're so
strange.
You're intelligent on so many different levels, and you've wisdom and experience, and what you have gained from life beyond the computer and beyond all of the technical stuff, just as a human being, is remarkable.
You know, my father said to me, he died in 2000, and we worked together. Laser Systems, he and I founded together. He had said to me at one point, Wendy was in the hospital with Christian. He'd had a grand mal. It was part of his issues. And I came to work, and I was all pissed off. And he said, so what is the problem? And I said, it was a long night. Wendy and Christian, you know, the ambulance came at 3 and, you know, whatever. And he said, okay, that sucks. But you need to understand, and this has stuck with me. Every single house that you passed, every single one on the way to work today, they've got problems. Some may be worse, some may be less, but everyone, every single person has problems. Get over it, because nobody in life is going to want to listen to your bitching when you get there. So put on a smile, put on a happy face, and deal with your issues. And, you know, that really stuck. And about 10 years later, I was at Berrytown Elementary School, and the principal asked me, he said, John, can I ask you a personal question? I said, sure. He said, how do you and Wendy come to work every day with a smile on your face? And I said, why? He said, you guys have a lot you're dealing with. And I said, yep. Well, I guess I could come to work every day with a smile on my face and deal with my coworkers, or I could come to work every day with a frown and be upset, and then people wouldn't want to talk to you or deal with you, and wouldn't that just spiral down? So it's better to come to work with a smile on your face. And so that's,
even when the shit is stacked up against you.
It doesn't matter, because it's just, it's a way to bring yourself up, and it works for me.
This is a great message heading head first into 2023, man. I mean, this is great stuff. It's great stuff.
And all from a geek.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I just got a note here, and we're going to be obviously talking about what's happening as we get closer and closer to New Year's Eve. But St. Johnsbury is going to be ringing in 2023 with food trucks, live music across town.
Wow.
They're going to be doing magical performances, fire dancing, hypnotism, everything. It's going to be quite an event in St. J. Montpelier, similar story. However, Montpelier and Montpelier Live is announcing this morning that they will not be having fireworks for logistical reasons, staffing issues, and first and foremost, the expense, the cost. They're going to hang on to the bucks and put them elsewhere and try to make some better.
Christian's going to be sad. He always looks forward to fireworks.
Understand. So John Sell,
that's me,
has rescued us. Has Southwest Airlines called you and said, John, we need some help over here. We got 2,300 flights that have been grounded, and we need your help.
They haven't, but see, the issue is
crazy. There are thousands of people right now that are sitting in airports trying to just forget about Christmas. Mm-hmm. They just want to go home at this point.
And the problem with all of this is that the scammers, the scumbags, they play on social media, but they play at the heartstrings. So, they do the, let's call Grammy, and, they do profiling. And so they get a mailing list of people who are elderly.
Sure.
And they call them as if they were a grandson or a granddaughter who's been put in jail, and they need bail money. And they play on the fact that, well, these people may or may not have grandchildren, and then they'll hang up on us. But all they need is one. And so they'll do that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And if they get 10%, they get a lot of money.
That's right.
And so people who do that suck. And
there's no other way to say it.
No, there isn't. Who does that stuff?
Some people might even say people that do that should be shot.
And you know what? I kind of agree with that. And so,
yeah,
it's. I'm a people's person.
Oh, JD, I can't believe he just said that.
No,
I can't believe JD Green just said that.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's not okay. People used so Disney, the Disney parks used to have a program, a special access program. And when we went down, Christian, we'd go in, we give him a note from the doctor, and then Christian basically gets a fast access pass so that he doesn't have to stand in 2.5-hour lines because it doesn't work for him. Well, they don't do that anymore. Why? Because some scumbag or scumbags came up with the idea to rent special needs people. You rent them, you go through the gates, you're in the park. They give you a special access pass, and then the special needs person is done with his day's work. That is not okay. So, you know what? There's just so much of that. And you honestly, whether it's your email or text or phone, you can't trust any of it. Right. You do need to. You've texted me, John, I just got this text. What am I,
3 days ago.
Is it legit? And my answer was no, it's not.
3 days ago.
Whether it's a shipper, you cannot trust anything. You need to originate. You need to call or text. If it came from your mother, you can't trust it because the big thing on Facebook now, on Facebook Messenger, is that you get a message that says, "Oh, I see these pictures of you. They're pretty racy." And it came from your mother. Well, it came from your mother because she clicked on it. And now it went to everybody on her contact list.
Right.
Now your mom sends this to you, and you click on it because you're like, Mom, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you don't check with her. When you click on it, all of your friends get it. So all of those, every single one of those are fake. And it's still... There are people who can't get beyond that. They need to click. Are you one of them?
I'm not answering that question.
Oh.
I may or may not be.
Well, if you don't do anything compromising, you should be worried about it.
John, but I had a package that was due to arrive by Christmas. It was late. It was late because the wrong zip code was put on the package.
Happens
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't arrive by Christmas. Not the end of the world. Although I was anxiously awaiting for this because it was Sherilyn's big Christmas gift.
Uh-huh.
And I waited out the weekend thinking, Monday, hopefully, things will get moving. And sure enough, I got a text on Monday from the United States Postal Service telling me they must know who I am.
Yeah, you get mail.
I get mail. They must have my cell phone number somewhere. I don't know. But they texted me saying, "We have your package. And there's a delay. Click here to have a look at your tracking number and whatnot." And of course I clicked on that. Of course I did.
Sorry.
But why?
And where did you go?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
It brought me to the United States Postal Service website.
So that may have been a valid link.
It wasn't.
No? All right. Well,
it brought me to the United States Postal Service website, which was a phony one. but it had all the red, white, and blue. It looked identical.
The fake Amazon page, they're all that. You know what? These guys are good.
It was identical.
Yep.
And I looked down.
Public castration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got my tracking number right there. I clicked on it, highlighted it, copied and pasted it into the
USPS site that you went to.
That I went to.
Right.
Pasted it, and that website said, we don't recognize this tracking number.
Was the tracking number from the text?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's why, yeah.
Yes. So me, being the dumbass that I am thinking, oh, there's got to be a problem here somewhere. Sherilyn is going, I'm telling you, that's bogus, that's a scam, blah, blah, blah. I texted you saying, I screenshotted it and sent it to you. You're saying the same thing Sherilyn is saying, that's bogus, don't bite the hook. I'm thinking both of you are wrong because
you're right.
I'm expecting this package.
Yep.
It has to be legit.
Yes.
I don't know if it was just coincidental. I don't know what the deal was. But playing on emotions, you bet your ass.
That's what they do.
I'm anxious to receive this package.
And
Sherilyn's like, they're never going to ask you. Oh, but when I clicked on it, it said, enter your credit card number. and we will ship. We'll add on $3 of postage to send your package from the wrong zip code to the right zip code so that you get it right away, buddy. I'm getting ready to punch in the credit card number. And Sherilyn's saying, don't do it.
Sherilyn is right.
And you were right. That's scary shit, man.
It is. And, I have to look 3 times. And this is what I do for a living. It's, there's a place called the dark web, which is a place on the internet that you don't ever want to go. And you can access lists of credit card numbers and lists of people who have fallen for this, because once you fall for it,
so easy, John.
Once you fall for it once, you get put in a higher category. You get put in a category of, check this dude out. He actually puts in his credit card, and then you get hit with a whole bunch of other ones. So you gotta be careful. And yeah, there's a special place on the internet for that.
You say dark place. It sounds like it's in someone's ass.
It's called dark web.
My God.
And you can do anything out there. And that's the sad part about this world. As we get more connected.
Right. You are. This is a conversation that you and I have had in the past. You're an expert with installing cybersecurity cameras, home securities, private security cameras, linking them up to computers and mobile devices. And so security is a big-ass thing in America, in the world.
It is. A lot of people don't, it's the last thing they do. They do it when
after there's been a problem.
Yes, they do it once they've been hit or somebody close to them has been hit.
Right. But security cameras, it's like people get them. They install them on the inside of their house, on the outside of their house, on their cars, wherever. I've got a dash cam that I love. Love the dash cam. Comes on automatically. I don't have to worry about anything. Right. Fantastic. One of the things that you and I have had conversations about and that has been in the media, in the press over the last year, is, and beyond that, beyond a year, is your cameras are watching you. Your phone is listening to you.
Yes.
Your phone is watching you. Your smart TV is watching you.
Absolutely.
You get into you got some marital problems with your wife. You're having a fight. This is being watched, listened to. The stuff is coming up on your phone of what you were just talking about. I mean, I went into a grocery store this summer. I'll never forget this. Went into a grocery store, had my phone, took a picture.
Yeah.
Took a photo.
Yeah.
On Messenger to Sherilyn, who is in the car with Lily. Are these the baked beans that you want?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the one? Holy shit,
well,
dude, I just sent her a picture of baked beans.
Yeah,
now I got baked bean commercials out of my ass.
If you go to your phone, if I can get in here, and you go to your photos, and in the search bar, you type a word.
Yeah.
It will find that word on any of your pictures. And that technology is what is used. And I've got a close friend of mine's daughter. She works out in Colorado, and she's one of the people who works doing the background work for companies to gather that kind of data. So if I go here and I type in, luge, it'll come up with 13 pictures out of my 150,000 pictures.
Is that how many you have?
157,186 pictures.
Is how many pictures you have?
On my phone.
You might have a problem, bud.
I'm a digital hoarder. Just ask my wife.
A digital hoarder or a digital whore?
A hoarder.
Okay, got it.
But that's scary that it can do that. I mean, it's convenient as hell. But,
sure.
But it's convenient if it's used correctly.
Right.
But your baked beans were harvested and it was sent out to the world, so you probably got, Amazon texts about beans that were on sale.
Yes. We just saw, again, the movie Polar Express. And, of course, the ending. You've seen the movie.
Many times.
The ending with the aerial shot looking down at the North Pole of billions of elves.
Yes.
I'm envisioning billions of elves or people who are sitting somewhere in the planet with like those elves with computers. Oh, John Sell, he's looking at baked beans right now.
Yeah, it's not humans.
Are we? I was going to just ask you that. What is this?
It's all computerized.
Algorithms and all that shit?
Yes, it absolutely is. And like I said, it's pretty scary. The most, I think it was 2 updates ago that Apple changed their photos, and it used to be facial ID. So, I mean, I can type in there Christian because he's, or Justin for that matter. If I go to my photos, go to search, and I type in Christian, because I've done, not Christmas, Christian, and I do search. Actually, I would say that's low, but 10,045 pictures.
Wow.
And then when you go to the first one, it's him and Patrice Bergeron.
Ah.
And then it's him and a Zamboni.
Yes.
So, but the point is, they're all Christian pictures, every one of them.
Yeah.
So I'll need to go through that because I'll have to do a birthday post later, and I'll need to come up with some pictures. And they took that algorithm, which that's been around for years, but they've taken that and they've gone one step further, and it actually looks for texts that appear in the photo.
So, smart TVs, you're watching them. Are they watching you?
Yes.
So if I'm sitting on my couch like I was last night in my underwear, eating pizza, scratching my nads, and picking my nose at the same time, someone's seeing that?
Potentially, if your TV has a camera.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and so when you're not using those cameras, you want to put something over them.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me right now?
No, if you go to Amazon, they actually sell these little teeny rubber camera covers for your computer and for your TV. And it doesn't mean there's some dude out there watching you scratch your nuts. But it is possible.
It is possible.
It is.
Wow.
I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, you can't live in total fear.
Well, what if you have a smart TV in your bedroom where you're getting it on with your wife?
Maybe you get rich.
Oh,
home porn. I mean, so if you do, you are best off to cover that unless you're going to use it. And the chances of you using the camera in your bedroom are pretty slim.
Sure.
So
what about the camera in your cell phone? What about that?
It too.
Don't tell me. Same deal?
Same deal. And so,
kidding me?
Well, and the microphone, same deal. So you can go to settings and you can disable the microphone in apps, as you should, because there's no reason for the microphone in Facebook to work.
Right.
Unless you're using Facebook Messenger to make phone calls, and then you can't disable it. And then you just have to live with the fact that it's there. I mean, you can disable it. You just have to remember to disable it when you want to use it, and that becomes a pain. And they know that.
So if you're about to get into an argument with Wendy, things are getting heated. John went to the store. He didn't get the right things. He got 2% when he was supposed to get whole milk, whatever. You come home, you get into an argument. Things are starting
Were
to
you listening?
Things are starting to get a little warm between you and Wendy. Do you then go in and cover all the cameras and mute all your shit before your fight starts?
Well, we're not big fighters, so that helps. But you know, I guess I do have a camera on my Mac, but you can tell if the camera's active because there's a little light on it. So if the light turns on and you're not on it, it's time. It's time to unplug it, or
wow.
So keep an eye on that, because if your room is dark and your camera light's on, somebody's watching you.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's scary.
And it can be literally someone, not a computer, that's watching you.
That can be a human. It can be a computer as well. Yes.
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I want to, of course, ask you about COVID, and this is a conversation that you and I have had, and I know that there's people that are thinking right now, my God, how are we transitioning in involving computers and technology?
I'm a virus guy.
And COVID into the same conversation here. Technology and COVID are two things that have become more hand in hand.
Well, if you will, I started talking with a company in New Jersey because my brother was involved with them.
Okay.
My brother does expos, and this company has a product which can actively kill COVID. It is not to clean a desk or anything like that, but it is an airborne solution. So it runs, and it can actively kill COVID or any virus, bacteria, or fungus, or mold. I mean, so black mold. It'll kill all of that within 1 minute. And it's an airborne solution, so it's constantly there. So you put it in a conference room. You put it in your office. If somebody comes into your office and they have COVID and they don't know it because they don't have symptoms, or they do know it and they don't give a crap, this running in the background will kill it, so that you won't get it, because it'll do it in under a minute, and you need a longer time for exposure.
What's the name of this company, and why are we not hearing about this in the news every 5 fucking minutes?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate that so it's a small company out of New Jersey. The name of the company is Grignard Pure.
Spell it.
GRIGNARDPURE. And if you go to grignardpure.com, they've got some great videos explaining right on their front page. It's scary and sad to me that they've run into so this company, and the chemical that is used has been EPA approved emergency use authorization.
Okay.
But the chemical that the active ingredient is the same that is used for concerts and stage fog. It's been around.
Fascinating.
It's been around for decades.
I know exactly what it smells like. I mean, when you go into a haunted house.
Well, yes, except that the concentrations used by a fog machine are in the 50+% range, and the concentration necessary for it to kill COVID are around 5%, maybe 6%.
Okay.
The point there is, there's no odor, there's no residue, and it doesn't create a fog. Right now they have a personal device, they have a room device, and they have something bigger that could do something like the BOR. And so this, and this is not a drawing board thing. This is not something for the future. This exists now. It actually has been approved in 7 states. And when I say that, so it got EPA approval. And because it kills stuff, viruses and bacteria, it has to be approved by each state's agriculture department as a pesticide. And I'm working on the Vermont right now, but it has been approved in 7 states earlier this year. Big states like Texas and Georgia. So not just little guys. And so the EPA, in their infinite wisdom, has decided that they're not going to continue the emergency use authorization because the pandemic is over. And so, we're fighting against that. And what the EPA wants us to do is get a Section 3 approval, which is fine. We would like that too, because with a Section 3, it'll be a national thing, not a state by state. The problem is that'll take another 6 or 8 months. And they want to cancel their emergency use effective January 14th.
That's tomorrow.
Well, no. Well, it's kind of January 14th. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
But the point there is that so there's going to be a huge lag, and everybody who was at a Christmas party last weekend, who's coming down with COVID now, that is all that was unnecessary.
Preventable.
It was totally preventable, and so the room device I have.
This is absolutely mind-boggling. And we just dropped the link, grignardpure.com. That's GRIGNARD pure, PURE.com. Out of New Jersey. And we are not
this is
let's just stop and say this right now.
All right.
We're not getting paid to endorse Grignard Pure.
And I'm not either. I will. I mean, I hope to be the Vermont rep.
Grab that mic.
Oh.
Yeah, get that.
I mean, I hope to be the Vermont rep. But right now, I believe strongly in this product because maybe of my health and Christian's health. And
yes.
And I find it unnecessary because... So I've had this thing running ever since we started the whole state thing 2 months ago. And it uses almost nothing. And so when I say almost nothing, there's a 750 mil tank.
That holds the liquid.
And it uses so little that...
Yeah, go ahead. And show us that on camera, too. There's your camera.
Yeah, I'll hold it up.
This is absolutely fascinating.
So, this...
Again, we're not being endorsed by Grignard Pure to do this. But we're getting this message out there, frankly, because not enough people are.
All right, so that's the tank. There's the tank. So this tank is still more than half full, and it's been running for 8 weeks.
Holy shit.
And
you're kidding me.
And anybody who knows Wendy, my wife, knows that she keeps a very clean house. There's no residue anywhere. It just runs. And I wanted to see for myself that if I was going to be promoting this, that it indeed is what they say. And it has been tested and retested, and the company has a powerful list of scientists who are behind it. People like, former EPA directors, and Johns Hopkins researchers, and they all agree that if this thing was out there, the world would be a different place. This is a game changer, and it says right on their page when you go to their website, this is a game changer. And it's unfortunate that...
And, of course, it will protect you. It will protect you if it's in your office or at home. But if you go into someone else's office or someone else's building who doesn't have this, then you're not protected.
You're not. But it's the type of thing that in Opera House, you can go to a concert and not worry about.
Right.
So... a hockey rink, it's it makes me mad. I guess is the right.
So why is this not being
government bureaucratic?
Holy shit! Don't say it.
It is. That's the hang up, and how can.
We're urging people to just glance at their phones right now, the screen, so you can see, because I'm holding it up right now.
Yeah. It's, and so I want to say that one does a room 15 by 90. But let me see here.
This is unbelievable.
Can I try to make a call to the company? I don't know if they're around, but
why not?
Let me see here.
It's amazing, John. I mean, absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I'm going to back my mic away for a sec.
Here, plug it in here, and we'll put them on the air.
I don't have
I got you. I understand. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I can put it on speakerphone.
Yeah. So these devices, again, we can see them on grignardpure.com.
Yes.
Everything from us.
But you cannot buy them.
Everything from a small. Oh, okay.
But you can't buy them because they're not approved in the state of Vermont. Now, if you lived in Georgia,
shitting me right now.
No, they cannot. There are laws in place, and it needs to be approved in each state. And so it is approved in 7 states. I think there's Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Nevada. So it needs to be approved, and we're working on that. But the hang up right now is not the state of Vermont. The hang up right now is the EPA. Because if the state of Vermont went ahead with the approval, that approval would cease on January 14th. Because the EPA is the one. So yes, I mean, we need
Section 3.
Section 3 would give us that, but that's going to be a while. So
I guess my question is, if you live right here in Barrie, how did you get this device?
I got it because I'm working with the state on trying to get it approved.
Holy shit. So if I have friends or family in Georgia or PA or Tennessee or Texas, I can have them buy it and ship it to me here in Vermont?
Well, no, I mean, I can't go along with that, but...
Of course you can't go along with that, but I can go along with that.
Well, But they won't be able to get get any of the liquid or the device after January 14th because the pandemic is over.
In the minds of the government?
Yes. Now, I'm going to just step off for 1 second.
But this is, of course.
Yeah, because I want to make a call.
But this isn't just about COVID, though, bud. This is about bacteria and viruses.
This is about RSV. This is about the flu. This is about the stomach flu. If this was in daycares and in schools, then kids wouldn't be getting every friggin' illness under the sun.
Holy shit.
And they wouldn't be bringing it home. They wouldn't be giving it to other kids. It really would make, when they say it's a game changer, it's a game changer. So, I mean, I have started my quest, if you will, with the board at Central Vermont Hospital. But that, too, isn't going to go anywhere. My hope there was to contact them. There's people on that board from UVMC, which is the largest medical center in the Northeast.
Right.
And, I mean, ideally, something like this should be in every single waiting room.
If you get them on the line, put that phone on speakerphone right in front of that mic.
That one? Yeah.
And then we'll be able to
Let me just
hear
make
them.
a quick call.
Yeah, this is unbelievable, John. I mean, incredible. We're going to see if we can bring them on. What am I seeing here? George Santos has put Republicans in a pickle. You're kidding me? No. Are you? Is this a joke? Oh my goodness. I guess there's. I just wonder how the GOP leadership is dealing with this and how they're going to continue to deal with it. And if they should demand that Santos step down. The price tag of GOP silence is going higher and higher. There's so much that's going on with this whole thing, and I think many of us need to get a grip here about resume lies. I know that it was beyond the resume for Georgie Porgy, but still, I mean, we just need to kind of get a grip here. Want to give a shout out, a birthday today, this morning, to, am I reading this correctly? Two twins that are turning 20 years old, Sierra and Savannah. These are Craig Premont's daughters. 20th birthday today. Sierra and Savannah. 20 years old. Happy birthday. Don't forget now, if you have any local birthdays, you can always let us know about it. Always. Again, we were just saying, and we're going to try to get in touch with the folks over at Montpelier Live to talk about what's happening on first night, Montpelier, but in St. Johnsbury, food trucks, live music across town, lots of different performances, among them magic, fire dancing, and the list goes on for December 31st in St. J. And Raylene's posting up just a crazy amount of information up on our Facebook page. We're chatting this morning with John Sell of Laser Systems Incorporated, which is right here in the Granite City of Barre, Vermont. He's not only a presenting sponsor of the Aired Out podcast, not only a big-time game changer as part of our team in helping us out with technical stuff and just making sure that our computer is whatever, all cleaned out, whatever the hell you call it. What do you call that? It's kind of like a poop shooter for a computer. It's kind of like a
Did you just call me a poop shooter?
No, I'm saying what you do is you go in and you clean all the shit out of the computer. You clean it up.
Yes, I could do that.
The bowel cavities.
Yeah, as Christian would affectionately say, I think that's a colon cleanse. So a colon cleanse to your computer.
Yeah, would you do that today? At some point?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not while we're live on the air.
Yeah.
But you've done it before. I don't know, cleaning the cache and going through and just making sure that our computer is running as optimally.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? As possible.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
And you do a great job with that. And we always have questions for you, and we're always reaching out to you saying, John, what about this? What about that? What about this? I mean, last night, John, I changed the size of my mouse pointer. I can't make it any smaller. Ah!
Hey, you're
complete panic.
You're old and blind. That happens.
That's it. That's exactly it.
And I can say that to you. I wouldn't say that to most clients, but still,
I'm old and blind. Of course, that's the
go.
truth.
There you go. That's
and you say, calm down, take a deep breath, step away from the computer. Let me log in remotely. I'll take care of things.
Yes.
Just freaking relax.
Yes.
And you have you've helped our computer here, but you've also helped us emotionally when I'm having a complete meltdown here.
Yep.
And I'm having I'm just losing my mind. Why is this not running right? Why is that so sluggish? And you've come in physically a few times and said, get the hell out of the chair. I'm sitting down.
I support my sister's computers in Germany, and so
we just got a message. We're talking about this amazing air filtration virus bacteria killer from Grignard Pure, which is a company out of New Jersey. That once again, I'll say this again, they are not. We are not endorsing them. We are not being paid by them, but we're talking about technology this morning with John Sell from Laser Systems, and he is a big supporter of this company. And frankly, we have an answer, a real solid answer to aggressively combating not only COVID-19, but RSV, the flu, and many other.
Well, if it was approved in this state, you would just have this thing sitting right here, and it wouldn't matter what guests came into your office. It would just sit there.
Right.
And, at roughly...
We're already getting questions.
At roughly $250 for the unit, and it's $100 for a gallon of the liquid. But like I said...
A gallon? That's a lot.
Well, it is a lot because this device, like I said, has been running for 8+ weeks, and the amount of liquid that holds is 2/3 of a 16-ounce bottle. So, and about half of it is used. So, about 4 or 5 ounces has been used in the last 8 weeks. So.
8 weeks.
A gallon
That's
goes
2 months.
A gallon goes a long way. It really, and it. That's why I said it. I kind of get, should I be sad or should I be mad? I'm kind of mad.
Well, we got Barb just dropped a post here saying this is bullshit. I want one.
I'm sorry, Barb.
But more than that, I agree. Medical facilities need these.
Every waiting room, every exam room, it's one of those things. And so their product is available with this, but they can also be installed in HVAC systems so that
it's moving around.
It moves into every office in the facility. And the fact that it kills all of this stuff in under a minute is the thing that makes me angry. That it's there. This product has been around since the 40s. Yes, since the 40s. And Grignard Pure also, they have a side company, which is what they were born from, which is Grignard. And Grignard owns about 80% of the market, I believe, of concert and stage fog. That fog is the exact same. Nothing has changed. But you can buy the juice if you're going to put it in a fog machine. But call it a microbial killer. All of a sudden, it has to be
the EPA.
And you have to have the EPA involved, and you have to have the agriculture department in each state involved, and it has to be approved as a pesticide. It will kill black mold. So if you've got allergies in your house, it'll kill the black mold. It will kill salmonella and botulism in food production. It's, go to their website and take a look. Send them a note and say John sent you.
Who did you just try to reach?
I first tried to reach the founder of the company, Etienne Grignard, but he's away from his office right now. And then,
can we get him on the air?
Oh, well, I believe we'll be able to if there's an interest.
There's an interest.
Well,
I'm saying it now.
I would think there would be an interest nationally.
We need to get him on the air.
Well, you guys...
Either by phone or...
Brian Reagan is their chief strategy officer, and he's
Where is
also... They're both in New Jersey. And,
all right. Are they coming to go skiing in Vermont?
That I don't know.
We need them in here.
I can... Well, it may be a remote. But,
that's fine.
But I'll find out. So the state of Vermont is not the problem right now.
I understand. We understand that.
I think they get it. I just am I jumping the gun? Well, maybe I am, because we have to get the feds on board, and I don't understand what.
Well, but I want to hear what.
Well,
the hesitation is.
So
what is their reasoning behind not aggressively?
Because the pandemic is over. They don't need to do that. And it kills me when we are having our triple-demic right now. And when you look at schools that are barely being kept open by
RSV, flu.
Yes, absolutely. All of which is unnecessary.
This is one of those things that's so blatantly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
It's right in front of everyone's face.
Yes. And it's reasonably priced. Very reasonably priced. And I understand there are certain people that probably can't afford it. But if you owned a daycare, and
$250 for this particular device.
For that particular device.
I'm going to show it on screen here in a second.
And then it's $100 for the liquid, but again, it uses very, very little. It's very quiet. It's like a humidifier.
How many of these do you have in your home?
Just that one.
Just this one.
Well, yeah, because that's the one that the state is going to get for. So I'm waiting on that. That's the only reason I have it.
When are you going to be speaking in front of the Vermont legislature?
I've put it out there, and I'm waiting.
For who?
For them to say,
Phil,
come on down. Well, Phil doesn't know about it, so it's
who needs to know about this?
Well,
why is this not in our Vermont State House? Why is this not presented in front of the legislature?
Well, Anson Tebbett's office, and he's not a problem. He's been very receptive. Again, the hands are being tied by the feds. So even if they chose to do it, they couldn't. So the problem is the feds. And it should be in every one of their offices. Frankly, it should be everywhere. It's a good-looking small unit.
We're going to show it again. And this this lady that just hopped on right now, who's just joining the podcast now, hasn't seen or heard what we've been talking about.
You got to hit rewind.
Yeah, you got to go back and see and hear.
And I'm not trying to incite a riot.
No,
of
course not.
But
this is it right here. I'm showing it on camera right here.
That's okay.
Drop the website again.
It's grignardpure.com, grignardpure.com. And you cannot buy this. They won't sell it to you because they can't. Their hands are tied. It's something we're trying to get approved here in the state of Vermont. And once it is, then hopefully availability, because the initial approval would be for healthcare only. And so it has to go through separate approvals for schools, for daycare, all of that's separate.
John, I want to give you some cash. Listen, my family and your family, we go way back. Listen, I'm going to give you some cash.
Can't do it,
I
boy.
got to get you. No. Listen, I want to give you. How much? Name your price, John. I want to give you some cash.
And you know, I
need some of these in my home, John. Come on.
And in today's world, I honestly think that is a huge market. It's
huge, massive.
Yeah.
This, for those of you that might just be joining us, this is a device that is still pending FDA approval.
No. It has EPA approval.
I'm sorry,
has for a year.
EPA.
It has EPA approval. It has
in 7 states.
It has EPA approval. Technically, that's federal approval, and then it has to go through each individual state approval. It has been approved in 7 states. It can only be sold in those 7 states, and the EPA wants to stop their emergency use authorization on January 14th. And that, in my mind, is insane.
Right.
Their reasoning being that the pandemic is over. That, in my mind, is insane. Because this is not limited to just COVID. This works with RSV. It works with the flu. It works with, having worked in the school system for 20 years, we're about to enter the worst period of time. So if you think the fall was bad, wait until January and February hit.
The fall was bad.
Yeah, the fall was horrendous.
Lily had the flu and RSV at the same time.
And
it's horrible.
And if you think that was bad, wait until January comes around.
So this device, bottom line here for Francine or anyone who is just joining us, this device basically takes a liquid, which is essentially the same liquid that goes into a fog machine that creates
concert fog.
Concert fog, or if you're at Disney, or if you're at a concert, or if you're in a haunted house, it's the same kind of fog.
Correct.
And
absolutely,
it runs in a different concentration. This unit, this device, will put this mist into the air of your home, your office, wherever, can be and should be connected in with HVAC for buildings and hospitals, and will essentially kill COVID-19, any kind
RSV,
of bacteria, viruses, fungus, RSV, flu.
Yep. I'll send you the list that it's been tested on, and you can put that up on your site.
And it's grignard.com.
No. That's the concert fog company. It's grignardpure.com.
Right. Got it.
Hold on one second.
I'm putting that up right now. Okay.
Hey, Brian.
That's up there.
Hey, John.
All right. Well, you're on the air. So I'm here with JD Green, who has a local podcast, and I was here for my computer business, but I at the same time wanted to bring up you guys, and we've been talking about this and the fact that
We've been talking a lot about this and about you and about the amazing strides that your company is making toward trying to get ahead on not only COVID-19, but also we were just talking about RSV and the flu and how bad the fall was and how bad the winter is going to be. And what's the hang up here with the EPA?
Well, I think you can say from perhaps the responsible perspective that despite what can frequently be great frustration and anger with U.S. regulatory agencies, there is a reason why we are the safest nation on earth when it comes to building construction and drug approvals and various other regulatory decisions. Having said that, we do face we have been facing what is a very frustrating path, and it's partly because this is a very innovative way to use a chemistry that's been around for a long time, that's been in use in a lot of different ways. The active ingredient in Grignard Pure is known as triethylene glycol. It is an extraordinarily safe chemistry. It was first, in a sense, discovered by the scientific and academic communities in the 1940s. In looking at triethylene glycol, scientists and academics discovered it has a lot of different and very flexible properties. It's today used in everything from indirect food additives, which are actually regulated by the FDA. It's actually regulated by the FDA, to use in certain sprays for indoor air that are regulated by the EPA. We have discovered a way to use triethylene glycol in a formula that can be dispersed or aerosolized. So essentially put into devices and aerosolized in a way that creates a very, very fine, invisible, literally treatment in the air that is effective at killing, as you probably have been talking about, viruses that range from the common cold or influenza to RSV to SARS-CoV-2. It also can kill a whole range of bacteria that are in the air, bacteria that cause hospital-acquired infections like MRSA, bacteria that are found in food processing facilities that can wreak all manner of havoc on public health and economies, like Salmonella and Listeria. Tuberculosis, which we don't fortunately see as a great danger today in the U.S., but it's reemerging around the world as a pathogen of great concern. And then finally, mold. And mold is interesting because we know mold to be something that smells, and it's irritating. It takes a lot of time to clean up. It's also the biggest cause of or the reason for sick building syndrome, which is a term that people are becoming more familiar with, and which is where a lot of the cases of asthma and just general sickness that people feel who work in buildings that tend to be older but have a lot of mold problems, because that mold in the air is very toxic and it gets into our respiratory systems.
What's
and it
that
can be
syndrome?
very damaging. And Grignard Pure kills that as well.
What's that syndrome called again?
Sick building syndrome.
Oh, sick building syndrome is a kind of a buzzword of culture here.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So we are proceeding very responsibly with the EPA. It is a slow process, but as I said, they have to evaluate our use of triethylene glycol in a very innovative way that they know is safe, because there have been multiple tests done over the many decades. It's been in use, and John perhaps talked about the fact that triethylene glycol is actually used in atmospheric fog and haze fluids that we're around all the time. If you go to a Broadway play, if you've seen Cats,
Disney,
if you go to a rock concert, if you're at a halftime show at an NBA game,
Disney World,
and you see those dramatic lighting effects that are created when you see that little bit of kind of fog in the air, that light is shot through it, and it creates very dramatic lighting effects. That is an atmospheric fluid that is dispersed through a machine, aerosolized in the air, and the lighting creates that effect. That contains triethylene glycol. And what we like to say a lot is people have been around triethylene glycol for decades. If they've gone to halftime shows, if they've been to Broadway plays, if they've been to concerts. So it's around us all the time, and it's very safe, as I've said. But the EPA has to do its due diligence, and it's taking time, but it can be very frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I mean, we've already got Vermonters that are dropping comments right now saying, how do we get one? Why can't we get one? This is bullshit. I mean, what's the next step, Brian? What are we going to accomplish here in 2023? What are you hoping is going to happen, and how do we make this happen?
So we've been so the EPA approved the use of Grignard Pure under what's known as a temporary exemption or an emergency exemption to address one particular emergency. And in this case, of course, it was SARS-CoV-2. They approved us for limited indoor use in both occupied and unoccupied spaces. And they approved us because they reviewed our testing. They knew the literature that exists on triethylene glycol already. And they recognized that the way we deliver it into the air is both effective and innovative and safe. But they did it on an emergency basis because they still believe that they wanted to see more testing to approve it on a permanent basis. That's the next step. That's the step we're in. And just to present a quick note on kind of the how the EPA operates. When they approve something for an emergency exemption, it's typically because they recognize it's going to be effective and urgently needed in the emergency it's addressing, but they also believe that it has long-term implications, and they expect that the company to whom they awarded the exemption will pursue permanent registration. Now, that's an involved process, not just the EPA doing all of its work, but the company, in this case, Grignard Pure, doing much more testing and much more work on its own, and that's what we've been doing. So the next step is we are applying for permanent approval. We will be doing the additional testing that is required. The delay is, and I'm not casting aspersions on the EPA. They've been trying to hold up their end of the bargain, but they've been testing themselves, and they essentially wanted to get to a point where they could publish minimum testing requirements for products that are air sanitizer products. That's what Grignard Pure is. They've never regulated products for use in occupied spaces continuously to address airborne pathogens. It's almost always been surface disinfection. Think about Lysol, think about Clorox, products that you may spray into the air, but they're designed for surface disinfection. This is new territory for them, so hence why it's taking a little longer, but we're hoping to keep the process moving, and we're hoping to see some good news in 23.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the FAA would be they would be very interested in this. Really, I don't know.
Well, we as well. We do as well, and you know we bang a lot of doors, and we we think we have a good handle on how the different agencies operate, but they all operate as as some of us know who do work with the government. They operate on their own pace, and sometimes that can be far slower than you would hope.
Well, listen, we're obviously going to be staying in close touch with John. He lives just down the road here from our studios. He's going to keep us abreast of everything that's going on with Grignard Pure and developments, and we're just hoping that we can add Vermont to the list of EPA-approved states here. Well,
we greatly appreciate the enthusiasm. John has picked up the saber, and he's been leading the charge up there, which is phenomenal. And, what I can say is people who become aware of Grignard Pure, who believe that in what they've read and they see the value, there's nothing wrong in writing to your senator or congressman. It's always helpful to get congressional support, that kind of, I'll call it pressure, but that kind of pressure that the legislative branch can exert on regulatory agencies is always helpful.
We're on it, Brian. We're on it. Listen, I just said to John a little while ago that if Brian happens to make his way to Vermont to go skiing this winter, you need to make your way over to our studios.
I will do that. I've got family in Vergennes on 22A between Addison and Vergennes, and I've got family in Burlington.
Oh,
and I've got family in several places in the States. So.
Oh, that's perfect, Brian. You got to come to a Norwich game.
I will do that.
Before you go to the Norwich game, please come to my studio, would you?
I look forward to it. Thank you so much for the invite.
All right. Wow. Great.
Thanks
stuff,
a lot
man.
for the call, Brian.
Great.
Take care, guys.
Great
All right,
stuff.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Oh my God, it's just fascinating to learn about this. It really is.
Well, like I said, I don't know if I should be sad or if I should be mad.
Right.
Because all of the unnecessary illness, hospitalizations, and deaths.
Yes, right.
This has been around since forever, and it's been approved for this in 7 states.
It should be in every bus and every airplane.
And if you go to their website, that's one of the things they show is public transportation. Yes, absolutely. And they have devices that work in public transportation, including sensors, to make sure that the level of mist is adequate.
Right.
All of that exists.
Even connecting in with HVAC.
That all exists.
Yeah.
So all of that's the thing. This is not something somebody's thinking about today that's going to be available in 2025 or 2030.
Right.
This is something that exists now. And if people would contact their representative, that's anything they can do. That will, is it self-serving for me? Yes, I want to see this thing move.
Sure.
So that's where we are.
Wow.
Sorry for going long.
Listen, no, I personally appreciate all of this time. Our listeners do. Please, if you have time, thank John for coming in. Thank him for being a sponsor of the Aired Out podcast, and get on his Facebook page, which is Laser Systems Inc. Right here in the Granite City of Barrie. You're right down the road.
That's me.
You do it all. You remote in, you do technical, you fix computers, you do security cameras, you do malware installation, which you've put on our computers. You do technical support remotely, which is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
What you do. You're a doctor. You're a doctor. You're a scientist of computers. And a geek.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I'm a geek.
No, first and foremost, ass-kicking dad. Geek second.
Today is Christian's birthday, so I'm going to be spending the time with him as much as possible.
All right.
Unless you have an emergency, but
where can people learn more about this? Just get on grignardpure.com.
Grignardpure.com, their website is really comprehensive. The front page has 4 or 5 2-minute videos that explain what this whole thing is. And then they do have a media page, which has more. And you can they've got some white papers, I believe, up there, which have a list of their unpaid supporters, which include
us.
Include a vast list of scientists,
right,
and people, former EPA people, former government people, Harvard University, Georgetown. I mean, these people are not small people in their field. It's just once it has government approval, I think it's going to take off. That's where we need to, Vermont is a great grassroots state. We've got Bernie here, and he started that.
Sure.
So that's what we need to do.
Thanks for coming in here, man.
You are welcome.
I am personally anxious to hear updates from you. And by God, if you get any, get your ass in here.
I can do that.
And get on the air with us and let us all know about this.
I can do that.
You can be here in 30 seconds from where you live, right here in Barrie.
Yes.
We're relying on you to be
well, thank you
our conduit.
Well, thank you very much for getting the word out there. You're great with that. You've got a great following here. And, let it be said that you're the one who publicly broke this story. Aired Out is where you need to be for local news and in this case, national news.
And information.
Yes.
Yeah, we appreciate you, bud. Thanks for the words.
Cool.
Have a great rest of your day. Happy birthday to Christian.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Christian.